Hello everyone. Sorry for the background noise. I have the window open here. My name is Dante, as I'm sure you already know by now. I just wanted to shoot a follow-up video, not even a follow-up video, just a update video about basically what I've been up to the past week, because I know it's been like a couple days or so since I shot my last video. I was in Turkey for the past 2 weeks. I went from, I'm sorry, I have like a hair or something in my mouth. I went from Istanbul to Olympos, and then Olympus up to Cappadocia, and then Cappadocia back to Istanbul. Stayed there for 2 or 3 days, and then now currently I am in Bulgaria. And I kind of wanted the main focus of this video to be about like couch surfing and my experience, because I haven't really actually stayed with a host I haven't really stayed with a host on couch surfing since 2016, or maybe even further back than that. I always use it to like meet up with people, but I usually very rarely actually use it to like stay with people, because I did have a not so pleasant experience one of the times like I did it. And then also I just feel like as a woman, which I wanted to talk about that too, like as a woman, I feel like using couch surfing, you really, and if you're using it to stay with people, at least in my experience, you really have to pay really close attention to people's messages. Like if someone is like, oh yeah, like come and stay with me, I'll come pick you up, blah blah blah, it'll be really nice, and like they are like super friendly, and then they're like, oh, by the way, you're really pretty, or oh, like, yeah, I just feel like we have this special connection, and it's talking about the way you look, most likely I'll say that person is probably going to be a creeper. And I feel like when I had said I was going to Turkey, I put up on Couchsurfing as like a public trip, because I do feel like that's the best way to either find people to hang out with or to get a host if that's what you're wanting. And so I probably got over 100 messages. Some of them were creepy. Some of them I just like read the reviews. So I feel like if you're new to couch surfing, I think it's so important to read the reviews, to see like, okay, is this person seeming to only accept girls who look like they're within a certain age, and like how are they talking to you in the message? Like, I don't know, like I do know that like of course people want to hang out with people who are around their age. They want to hang out with people who look like they're gonna be fun and everything, but like if a girl was staying with me and like I wanted to host her, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you can host, like you can come and stay with me, I think that you're really cool, oh by the way, you're really beautiful, like yeah, I'm not gonna be talking about like how attractive she is, because that really doesn't matter in relation to her staying with me, like how attractive she is, because I'm wanting to like get to know about her culture. I'm wanting to like, I don't know, get to know about her as a person. So I feel like it's, to me, it's like such a weird thing. But I just wanted to talk about like my experience with couch surfing there. So I had my first host. I was supposed to stay with him for 7 days, or maybe it was 8 days. And then like maybe a day or two before I came, he like let me know, oh, I'm actually going on a family trip, because it was like a religious holiday that week that I was there. And so he told me, oh yeah, after maybe 3 or 4 days, I wouldn't be able to host you anymore, which for me wasn't like a huge deal, because I wasn't sure I wanted to stay. Like I said, I hadn't had a host, stayed with a host in a while, and so I was like kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna want to stay in this area. I also had another friend who was coming to visit me, and she had told me that the area where this host was staying was like way far away from everything, and so I probably wouldn't want to be there. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But I do feel like if someone was really relying on staying with that host, and maybe they didn't have the funds to cover to stay with someone else, I feel like that would have been really inconvenient. but he was very friendly. I met him at his apartment. He was not creepy at all. Like, he was very, very nice. He seemed to have his own life, which is good. So he wasn't like, super super clean. Like, I would have definitely loved to hang out with him, but he was busy with work, so which was perfectly fine, because like I said, I already had my friend come to visit me that I had traveled with a little bit ago. I also had met another friend when I was in Macedonia, who was also coming to Turkey and going to be in Istanbul. So I actually had and then also, like I said, there were like over 100 people. I was like, oh yeah, let's hang out. So it wasn't really a big deal. He made me dinner my first night there, and then we just watched the news and watched TV and we watched the movie. So it wasn't anything like too crazy, but it was nice that like he gave me a key. He gave me a bus card, because right now, also, this is good information to know. If you go to Istanbul now, you need to get an Istanbul card. You have to register it with like your passport number, your last name, your date of birth, and they just want to, I guess, verify that you don't have coronavirus, and you have to register it. So don't just get a card, think, okay, I can get the card, put money on it, and then take the metro, take the bus, all that. No, you actually have to register it, which can be kind of complicated. I would recommend not using the app, because the app was really, really horrible. I'd recommend doing the text messaging, which I make a friends with someone from Turkey. Don't just do it in the train station, because apparently one of my friends told me that people will charge you 25 Turkish lira to basically register this card. And not that you don't have to, like, I mean, 25 lira is nothing, like, but just out of the principle. I feel like I'm a person, like, the principle of the matter, you shouldn't charge someone for that. But whatever you choose, make sure you register the card. But anyway, he helped me do all of that, which was extremely helpful, because you use that Istanbul card to ride the train, the metro, to even use public bathrooms in some places, to take the ferry. It's really important. So I feel like it is really very helpful to do that. But anyway, getting back, so we did that. I also met somebody else on Couchsurfing who had invited me, and he invited me, and I said, oh, my friend is going to be coming with me, to go to an island, to rent an Airbnb with like him and a group of his friends. And so we did that. That situation was not so good. Like, basically my main irritation with that situation is, he was like, okay, the island's going to be more expensive, so we should get food and everything, food and drinks for the island, and we should get it in Istanbul because it'll be cheaper. I would have been perfectly fine, just because, like, I don't, especially when it's hot, I don't eat that much when it's hot, so I don't need like a ton of food, or a ton of drink, because I don't even drink like that much, so I feel like I don't need that much. And so when he was asking me, I said, okay, I would like to have maybe like vodka and Sprite or something like that, like something just simple and basic. And then I said, and my friend said the same thing. She's like, because she doesn't really drink either, so she's like, yeah, well, we'll just do vodka and Sprite. And I said, and she's like, we can split that bottle. So they get that, and they got snacks. So we get there, they have whiskey, they have 2 or 3 bottles of wine, they have vodka, I think they may have had tequila. They have all this alcohol, all of which we did not ask for. We specifically said we wanted vodka and Sprite. And so, and they also brought these snacks and these chocolates. Like, basically they just bought a bunch of stuff that we didn't need. And long story short, they charged us for all this alcohol. So it wasn't like a crazy amount of money. I think it ended up, like, for the accommodation, for the house and the alcohol and everything, I'm trying to remember, I think it was 300 Turkish liras, which is about 30 euros. So it's not like a crazy amount of money. Like, I completely agree. But I guess I'm a person who I get upset about the principle of the matter. If you ask me what I want and we're splitting something, why am I paying for whiskey? Why am I paying for wine? Why am I paying for tequila? I didn't ask you for any of those things. That's things that you and all of your friends bought. So if you guys want that, then that's something that you guys should pay for separately. We shouldn't have to pay for that. So that really, really left a bad taste in my mouth, because then they were so big on like, oh, like, let's just pay for this. Like, we'll just pay for it and we'll just split it at the end. We'll just pay for it and split it at the end. And then at the end, it came out to being more than he initially told us. He's like, oh yeah, tops, it should be 200 lira, tops. And then we paid 300 lira. So it was just, I don't like things like that. And I guess he told me, oh, it's a cultural thing that whatever's on the table, everybody pays for it. Well, if that is the case, then don't ask me what I want, because then that's what I'm expecting to pay for. I'm not expecting to pay for what you and all of your friends want. Like, I don't really like that. And I would have just said no to everything in that case, because I'm a budget traveler. As of right now, I am currently unemployed. So I'm really trying to use my money wisely, not use my money to pay for other people's drinking habits. So that really irritated me. Also, another thing that really also bothered me is basically we were drinking, and I know, like, I don't know these people, so I'm not gonna be getting intoxicated. I just drink, like, which is why I said we are not gonna drink that much. So I drank a little bit. After I was like getting tired, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to sleep. So I went to sleep, and then around 4 in the morning, one of his friends comes to my room in his underwear, and it's like, oh, I can't find Dennis. And Dennis is like the friend who I know from Couchsurfing, who invited us on this excursion. And so I was like, oh, okay. And like, I really wasn't worried about Dennis, because Dennis is a grown man. He's 34 or 35. I don't remember how old, but he's old enough to look after himself. And so I wasn't really too concerned about him. But then I knew my friend who came with me, she wasn't in the room with me, and we were sharing a room. So I started to get worried. So I get up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm looking around. I see her tennis shoes are by the door. I see her phone is in the room, so I have no way to call her. So I'm like kind of freaking out, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I brought my friend here, and then she's been taken, and like I'm freaking out. Then this guy gets into my bed, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm so worried. Like I don't know where they are. Why, if you're so worried, why are you getting into my bed? Like, that's not going to help you find your friend. It's ridiculous. So I don't want him in my bed. So I get up and I walk out of the room. So I was like, well, if that's the case, then we need to go find them. And so we're like walking around, and then I'm like, is your friend, is he like a good guy or is he like a bad guy? Like, what is his character? And then he's like, oh no, like, no, my friend's great. Like, he's good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if everything is good, then why are you freaking out? And so fortunately, I'm like, well, let's go look for them, because he's like just trying to like hang out in my bed. Like, no, you're not gonna be in my bed. So long story short, my friend comes back with Dennis. They had gone for a walk or whatever, and they come back, and she's like, oh yeah, we just went for a walk. You know, he wanted to show me like the views, because like there's really beautiful views and the stars and whatever. And so long story short, though, this guy was trying, like, I'm not even gonna tell you the things that he said to me, but it was so ridiculous. Like, it was so ridiculous. Like, he was just like a class A creep. And then the next day, when I was talking to his friend was like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I hope that my friend didn't bother you. I just think that he was drunk, and that's the reason why he did that, or he said that. And I'm like, he wasn't drunk. It wasn't because he was drunk, because the next morning he was talking some crazy foolishness as well. Like, I don't know why you think that because I'm here, or maybe if I'm a woman, like I owe you a kiss, I owe you sex, I owe you anything. But like, no, like, I'm not doing anything with you. Like, it was beyond ridiculous. It was beyond ridiculous. I was very annoyed with the situation. I was very annoyed with him, and then this guy had the nerve to, like, 'cause basically after that his friend the one who was the creep, because I know like I'm not saying that, like I'm switching between names or whatever, but the guy who was the creep who came into my room, he his friend was telling him about couch surfing, like, oh yeah, you should do couch surfing and blah blah blah. And then this guy had the nerve to ask me to write him a reference. No, I'm not gonna write. If my reference would be like, don't stay with this guy, he's an entitled creep. He thinks that because you're a foreigner, or maybe because you're a woman, that you have some obligation to sleep with him, which is insane. And I wouldn't put any woman through that. No, I'm not writing you any kind of good reference because I think that you're a piece of crap. Like, I don't know. It's these people, I really, I don't understand it. So no. So that was that couch surfing experience. That one was bad. The first one was good. That one was bad in Turkey. But fortunately that one only lasted one evening because we just went for one day, then we came back. And then me and my friend who I was traveling with, we were meeting another couch surfer because we were supposed to go on a road trip with this other couch surfer. So that one I feel like was a lot better. That one, his name is Ulash, and he is just a peach. He's very like considerate, very nice. Like, he drove us for I think 7 days I don't know is the total, from Istanbul to Olympus. He also was like, oh yeah, there's a beautiful lake, so we like went and stopped at this lake called Salud. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right. It's this icy blue, beautiful lake, absolutely beautiful lake. And we went there. Then we went to Olympus, stayed there for a few days, which was really beautiful. We did some camping, which was an interesting experience because Olympus was extremely hot while we were there, very sunny, and camping in the heat is definitely a interesting experience. And then the shower there was a time sensitive shower, so you had to keep jumping up and down, otherwise the light would cut off. And we would mostly end up having to shower at nighttime because we'd be at the beach all day, then like eating, then whatever, and then when it was like dark, that's when we would take our shower to cool off to go to sleep. And so it was quite the experience. And then we went up to Cappadocia. We looked at some castles. Yeah, it was just like really beautiful. We did four-wheeling, which I feel like I want this to be a lesson. This is going to be a longer video. I already see that I'm at like 17 minutes 49 seconds, so I do apologize, but I wanted this to be informative. If you go to Cappadocia, I would definitely highly recommend, especially right now, if you do the hot air balloons. It was only like 45-50 euros to do the hot air balloon right now. Which is really good because I think before it was like maybe $100 and something to do the hot air balloon. So right now it's super cheap, which is really good. We also did ATVing, and that was like 12 euros, but that was not worth it. We went so extremely slow. Like, it was so extremely slow. It was like paying to be in gridlock traffic. Like, do not recommend. Like, we would, like, they were like, oh, keep 1 meter between, and he was like literally going maybe 5 miles per hour. So it was just like, and then you try, like, you would try to, like, I tried to create like a gap, so I would like stop just so there would be a gap, just so I could go semi fast. And they were like, no, you have to keep going, keep on going. Like, but it was so boring. Do not do ATVing there. It was slow and it was boring, unless maybe you get, like, you make friends with someone who has their own personal ATVing, and they're like, okay, like, I'm gonna take you ATVing personally. That would maybe be extremely fun. But what we did, like, it was actually quite a group. Like, I feel like that, I'm gonna touch on this too. Like, that was one of the things that I really do love about traveling. Like, when I was in Macedonia, I met this girl also through Couchsurfing, and she had asked me for some advice about taking a taxi in Macedonia. Well, it turns out that she lived in the same apartment building, and the way they have the apartment buildings there, at least in the apartment I stayed at, it was like units, like sections like that. So she was in like a different unit from me, but we both lived in we had the same apartment number in that same whole building. And it turned out that she was in the same apartment building as me, same apartment number, had been staying there the same length of time. She was also going to Turkey just maybe a day or 2 days after I was going to Turkey, and we like really bonded. And so we ended up meeting her in not just Istanbul, but we ended up going and meeting her in Cappadocia as well. And then even my other friend who I was in Turkey with, I had met her randomly in Matka Canyon, like on a boat trip. And then that was probably when I first, not even probably, that was like when I first got here or first got to Macedonia. So that was probably 2 months ago. Since then, I met her, of course, in Macedonia. I hung out with her for a week in Serbia. Then I also hung out with her. She came, I told her I was going to Turkey, so then she came and met me in Turkey. And then she even came to Bulgaria with me here. She just left to go to, we're in Sofia now, and she did just leave to go to, like, I think Poldo. I'm probably not saying it right. But yeah, like, and so we've been traveling like together. And like, I think that that's like the thing that I love the most is like meeting people and then seeing them again and then traveling with them long term. And like, yeah, like I just think it's like, I don't know, it was a really beautiful thing. And I feel like I really loved being in Turkey with people that I felt comfortable with, that like I already knew, that knew me, especially like other women. I felt like it made me feel so much safer and like more comfortable just as a woman. Like it was a very, like, that was a really good experience. And even like I even ran into, like, I used to live in Nebraska. I went to high school in Nebraska, and I even ran into this is going to be complicated. My friend that I knew in high school got married to this guy, and it's that guy's brother. So her brother-in-law that I knew in Nebraska, I ran into him in Turkey, and I haven't seen him in probably 10 or 12 years. And he was like, "Oh, I see that you're traveling. Where are you at, or where are you going?" And I told him, "Oh yeah, I'm in Turkey." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not far from there. I'm gonna come and meet you." And so like I saw him here as well. So it was just really, really, I don't know. I love that. I love how when you travel, the world becomes smaller and you meet people and you see people that you haven't seen in a while. Even right now, currently, I am in Sofia, and I am staying with a friend that I had also met when I was in Macedonia, just like one day when I was through another friend. And now I'm here staying with her in Sofia, and then we're supposed to go on another trip to another country, which I do think that after that I'm gonna try to become more stable and be in one place, because I do feel like I don't know if I've spoken to this, but I have 5 suitcases. The reason why I have 5 suitcases is because I was supposed to be being very creative and making blankets and quilts and designing and making art. I have like sketch pads, I have like things for drawing, and I haven't really been doing any of those things because I've just been like traveling and socializing and going out. And so I do think that after I go to Greece, I'm gonna try to be by myself and be more responsible. And who knows, maybe during that time it'll bring better quality to my YouTube videos, because I do feel like when I'm traveling, I take a lot of pictures, I take a lot of videos, and I just need to figure out how to edit them into YouTube, into these videos, so you guys can see them. I mean, like I said, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see my pictures, you'll see my videos, my stories. So I will put my Instagram in the description so you can see that. But yes, okay, I think this video is already long enough. So I already kind of told you a lot of the dirt and the nitty-gritty. If you guys have any other information or questions, please ask questions, because I sometimes don't know what other people are wanting to know. I was also, well, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't always know what people are wanting to know. So if you have any questions, but feel free to like, to comment, to subscribe, to ask questions, to share your experiences. Like if you have information about Turkey that you wanted to share or give, I think that would be extremely beneficial. And I also apologize because I do know that there is a lot of noise in the background, but the window is out. It's not out, but open, but it's needed for ventilation. So anyway, sorry this video is so long, but yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and happy travels.